we declare him a national hero of independence. The second thing I want to talk about our elder here is what he said, truth. Ukobabaga ngaba DP, they were educated to tell justice and truth. Yarambwiye recently nje at I have been waiting for you to bid farewell to you. For 6 months I was in London. When I came, he said that now I can rest. But he then told me that when he was young in Rwanzu is in Busanza, he was studying. He said that always perpetuate truth, not intrigue. Perpetuate truth, not intrigue. Arambwira ngo hari umwigisha yakundaga, umwigisha agezaho arwara ibinyoro, ashaka uburyo araje kumureba burabura, agezaho abesha ababyeyi be ngo yarwaye umushwiza, that he was suffering from malaria, so that he gets a chance to go to where? To hospital. But in that lying, abakera bumvaga ngo urwaye umushwiza bagashira icumu mu iziko bacana umuriro w'amani. They lit fire and put icumu nangwa bayitaga uruhindu iriki, bacana icumu. Umwana wacu kwa bwaye malaria barizana riri kotsa, bari mu kubitaha, barigira batya kugira ngo malaria igire iki igende. From that time he said, lies are costly. Never tell what? Lies. To get to something that you want. And his whole life, he believed in truth and justice. The other thing I've observed from him, he was a real family man. He loved his wife, he loved his children, he educated them, and he was a great friend to many of us without discrimination. He was friendly to small kids of 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, even to people of his age. He had a very big network of family and friends. The other issue, today there are many people, like I have said, the MPs representing us. I want to really say that every job you gave him, he served diligently with his abilities. Diligently. And the same thing I can say on Buchanayandi. We have really these elders that loved their job, not because they have to make money, but because they have to do the service as required of them. That they don't fuel the intrigue. Don't fuel the what? The intrigue. And what he was telling me is what they practiced. They didn't like intrigue. So I really appreciate the service these elders have given to our nation. I can say without doubt that he's already in heaven. He loved God as he loved the neighbor. He fulfilled this commandment of loving God and what? And neighbor. You know, it's said that how can you love God if you don't love how can you love God you don't see and claim you love your neighbor? When you don't love your neighbor, uzakunda Imana ute yutabona n'amaso yawe kandi wowe wicaranye nawe uruhande rwawe kano kanya uwo mwubakanye mu cyaro, uwo muturanye udasangira nawe, utabana nawe. But I want to be a witness that Honorable Engineer Arsen Mbonye is now in heaven because he served his God through humanity. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Rakoze Mutware Murenga. With that not very short speech, but thank you so much. It was very interesting. That very important point. Abantu baraha dufitemo abantu umugenzi yari MP wa Bufumbira yose. None ubu dufite batanu. Intebe umugenzi yicayemo muri 61 wicayemo n'abantu batanu. Ndasaba aba MPs barahangaha ngira ngo ni babiri nabonye. Engineer Seruganda, Honorable Engineer Seruganda n'abagenzi bawe. Muze mufateho just a minute. Ariko mutaraza I'm announcing Honorable Sara Mateke aratuyagiye 30,000 arakoze. And before, thank you, before the MPs speak, 1 minute, kansome message ya ba mwana umugenzi nabwe ko rafite abakwe abakazana. So umwe muri babana bwe Mutware Muzeyi Dennis Kurayige yohereje message kanyisome. I'm here to bid farewell to both a friend and a relative, Honorable Engineer Arsen Mbonyebyombi. He is a relative because his son marries my daughter Edith Mbonye Kurayige. Besides that, his father, Munyamashara, supervised my father, Rwanyonga, in administration. When one time the Muzee went to Rwanda, I think he meant Rwanyonga, his father, and indicated the possibility of staying there, Muzee Munyamashara made it a point to bring him back to Bufumbira. We thank God for the lives of these two great men. May God rest him in eternal peace. Signed, Muzee Dennis Kurayige Mbarara. Honorable Seruganda na mugenzi bawe, you are most welcome. Bampere microphone. Kindly igihe cyadufashe summarize.
Mpagaze ahangaha mu buryo butatu. Mpagaze aha nk'inshuti y'urugo, mpagaze aha mpagarariye ba MP bandi ba Kisoro district, kandi mpagaze ahangaha nk'intumwa ya gavumenti. Nkaba MP twaje kwifatanya namwe kugira ngo duherekeze Engineer Arsen Mbonyebyombi, umugabo kuko yavuzwe mwabyumvishe yari intwari muri Uganda yose atari na Bufumbira yonyine. Yarwaniriye independence iraboneka, kandi abaho na member of parliament, kandi abaho na minister, byose mwabyumvishije. None twaje ahangaha gufatanya n'abandi kugira ngo abone guherekezwa gukwiriye. Ubwo rero ndavuga muri make kuko byinshi byavuzwe, ariko hari amagambo yanyuze avuye kuri mutware Kanya, avuye no ku mutware Alex Niyonsaba Seruganda, kandi nanje engineer. Ubwo engineer nabukuye kuri uyu mugabo uryamye ahangaha, we na engineer Munyantwari twabigagaho kera turi abana bato, kuva ukiri muto ukavuga uti nanje nzaba nkabo, kandi wavuga uti nanje nzaba nkabo ukabyishiramo, ukavuga uti bize iki, ukamenya ico bize, nuko amaherezo nawe ukagikurikirana kugira ngo nawe uzabe nkabo. So babaye urugero rwiza, badushiramo umutima wo kuba abo turi bo. Ndongera mvuga kandi niganye na mutware Henry Mbonye hariya tukiri batoya, yaraje avuye Kampala aje gutangira senior wano hamwe natwe hano mutorere. Noneho turamubaza, Henry isuko ninde? Aratubwira ati data ni engineer Arsen Mbonyebyombi. Ni engineer? Turavuga tuti ubwo nawe ufite ibibaro byinshi muri uwo mutwe. Kuva uwo munsi tumwita bibaro. N'aka kanya njewe yo mvuye nawe muhamagaraga bibaro. Ni gutyo twatangiye kuva kera turi inshuti. Hanyuma bwa nyuma Honorable Paul Kwizera nawe musanga Butobere, ndongera kandi mpurirayo na bibaro. Ubwo murareba duko turi kugenda turi gukura, ariko n'ubundi turi gusanga naho turi. Ubwo rero twari tumaze kurenga imyaka 18, namwe murareba ibyo twasangiye nyuma yaho ni byinshi. Ariko nyine ukareba urugo rwa mutware Mbonyebyombi ari urugo rukunda Imana, kandi urugo rutuje, kandi urugo rufite ubwenge. Mutware Habati we twasanze yaravuyeho Makerere, ariko nabwo tugeze mu dutangiye gukora nawe dukorana nawe. Mutware Alex nawe mu gukora dukorana hamwe, mbese family yose twarakoranye turaziranye. Ubwo rero kaba MP babufumbira biratubabaje cyane, ariko kandi niko biba. Iyaguhaye n'ubundi niyo igira ite, niyo iza ikajana. Ntabwo wayiburanya, igihe ishakiye gutwara wayo iramutwara. kandi tubishimire Imana kuba yarahaye umugenzi imyaka 90. Nyabuna mumfashe dushimire Imana dukoma mu mashi kuko yahaye umugenzi imyaka 90. Mwakoze cyane, sindavuga menshi. Turi hamwe, mwumve mukomeye abapfiriwe kuko niko biba, kandi turi inyuma yanyu, turabashigikiye, kandi mwumve mukomeye. Ahandi kasabe Imana impere engineer iruhuko ridashira. Mwakoze.
Mwakoze cyane engineer honorable Seruganda. Tugeze igihe cyo gusoza za speeches. We are coming to the end of the speeches, so I request the family, led by Brigadier General and his dear wife, Daphne Mbonye and Henry, David and Alex, please come forward and we conclude the speeches session of this ceremony. Thank you. Navuze ngo mwese twabakiriye, ariko hari abantu bakuru, abapasoni nka Mrs. Jane Bakenga, turi hamwe, twakubonye urakaza, wakoze kuza. Proceed please.
Abakuru b'amadini, led by Father Sebatware, representatives of government, abavandimwe n'inshuti, fellow mourners present in your respective positions. Nitwa Brigadier General Mbonye. I am the second born of the late Engineer Mbonye. The first born is a girl, Mrs. Francis Ruvuna, aba muri America n'umugabo we, so ntiyashoboye kuza kuba natwe, particularly kubera yuko hariho izi restrictions zateye n'indwara yahanzwe COVID-19. Taratangira speech, ndasaba ngo banzurire bagenzi banje, my brothers and our spouses. I will start with my extreme left. Brother one brother is unable to be with us. Richard Mbonye, he lives in the UK because of also this challenge of travel restrictions that is affecting parts of Europe and America with regard to COVID-19. So speech yanje ni ngufi ariko ndayisoma mu ruzungu. So on behalf of the Mbonye family, we would like to appreciate you all for coming guherekeza umugenzi and to attend this very important mass to celebrate his life. We are celebrating and not mourning really, because Mzee Mbonye has lived a full life. As you we were told was born 1930. At the time of passing away, he had clocked 91 years. So he really had lived a full life. He had, in good measure, enjoyed that good life with him and his presence. And he was able to give us a lot of words of wisdom in his journey of life. And he taught us to always do and focus on the right thing. He was well brought in the traditional family way, but also had opportunity. And this made him in particular a very social networker and a very humble person who respected others regardless of their stature. Now, this particular trait in him evolved, and we were able to learn great lessons from him about it. He is a man who valued education. You have been well told about how he went to school, so I will not go in details except to say that having been an engineer, he went to Nakawa Engineering School, which was then a constituent college of the university at the time, and later on had opportunity under a Canadian government scholarship to attend the University of Waterloo, where he obtained a postgraduate diploma in business administration in 1968. The most important thing about his education was that it propelled him and gave him opportunity. And he, as has been enunciated, in the pre-independence era. So I will not go into those details again, because it has been talked about. What is unique and important to us as a family is that he was a loving grandfather. He supported them, encouraged them, and followed their achievements to the letter. He knew how each child moved from one class to the other and knew how well they performed. That's how keen he was about following up on the progress of his grandchildren, later on ourselves, as we grew up and went to school. Mzee celebrated his 91st but his health started deteriorating. Later on, as he was subjected to a series of medical checks, it was established that he had developed cancer, and it was in one of the last stages. He was very, very brave about this. He took it in good stead and commenced treatment upon advice and checking to see that he would be fit to undergo the treatment of cancer, which is very rigorous, and more often than not, it tends to effect. Weeks into treatment, he became very unwell and was subsequently admitted. 2 weeks ago, his situation deteriorated and he developed acute kidney failure. This kidney failure triggered multiple other consequences, such as cardiac arrest, and ultimately we lost him. As a family, We want for the gift of a full life for our father. I want particularly to thank my siblings and our spouses who showed him unfailing love throughout his time of aging, and particularly when he fell. Dad never lacked anything. I would also like at this point in time to thank other people who contributed to his well-being, both in health and sickness, and who were at his side physically or offered material, emotional, and physical support to keep him going. I would like to start with the nursing team at his home in Ntinda where he lived until his candle burnt out. Grace, I don't know whether Grace is here in the congregation. Can you please stand up? Grace, you haven't come. Grace stood by his side from the time our mother passed away almost 20 years ago. And she has been by his side, supporting him unrelentingly and faithfully. She saw him through hard times and good times. Grace, on behalf of our family, we'd like to appreciate you. May God bless you. Together with Grace, there was Julius Kadoma, who also was there in the home and helped push him around, especially when he could no longer walk and needed the services of a wheelchair. He also faithfully stood by him, supported him uncomplainingly, and became also part of our family. Julius Kadoma, thank you very much. I'd also like to mention, because at some point in time, Mzee's condition became critical, and therefore he needed professional care. So I'd also like to add that at some point in time, Mzee's condition became critical as he aged further, and also undertook the medical treatment, and therefore needed more personalized and professional care. So we undertook the services of a nursing home care known as Lions Bedside and Home Nursing Care. A representative from that nursing care is here with us today, who has come also to see the old man sent off. Julius, could you also stand up? Strong and stoic. He never showed it. So whenever they visited, they provided very good therapeutic engagement with him and probably enabled to prolong his life. And these include Alex and Jackie, who particularly found time to check on him, take him the fruit juices he loved, engaged him in much, Jackie and Alex. We would like to thank too, in a big way, Uncle Jack and Auntie Mary Mugabe for your unfailing love for Mzee. The care you showed him for the many years. You visited him, took him his favorite musururu, which he loved to drink. We feel we have a lot of gratitude to you, which we will not forget. I would also like to thank my institution, the institution I serve, the UPDF, they supported me each time our dad was in and out of hospital, because Medicare is not very cheap to manage. They supported me physically, materially, and morally. And I would like to thank them wholeheartedly for standing by us as a family in these difficult times, especially with this moment when we are giving him a send away. We thank all our other, mention you by name, but found time in and out of hospital and even to visit him at home. To you all, we are greatly indebted with gratitude. Thank you, King Caesar, for being a great friend to our dad. Kampala, where we had also Mass, for graciously accepting to grant him all the spiritual rights, and even in hospital when he was still alive but unwell, frequently visited him to give him the sacrament. For all this, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all you mourners for finding time. It's not easy to come all the way to Kisoro. A journey of over 500 kilometers when you have work to do, it's a great sacrifice. We thank you for being there for us and standing with us. May God rest his soul in eternal peace. Thank you.
Herbert, I'm requesting, because I've requested the priest, though time is really so much gone, he allowed us to pray the wreath. Stay where you are. Nyogosenge na siko wanyu baze hano. Ndasaba muzeyi Ben Ntawuruhunga, murumuna w'umugenzi, na mushiki we Cecilia Nihagira neza, niyo bari bubanze gufata ibimuri maze mukurikireho. I'm requesting the family and the friends, because of time, ndaje nsaba nk'abantu batatu. 3 steps at a go instead of 1 step. I'll be requesting 3 sets of people. So Muzeyi Ben Ntawuruhunga, brother w'umugenzi, the funeral service kindly prepare the flower, the wreath. It's time to lay the wreath. So ndasaba mukecuru Cecilia Nihagira neza, sister w'umugenzi, afate ikimuri akizane ku sanduku. Namutware Ben Ntawuruhunga nauze. Funeral service, assist those elders to lay the wreath. Next will be the children, abana n'abakazana.
Funeral service Mose. We are requesting funeral service to come here and read us in this exercise.
Laying of the wreath, funeral service providers come and assist. Laying of the wreath. One sister na brother w'umugenzi. Funeral service providers, be quick. We catch up with the time. Followed by Herbert, your siblings and your dear wives. I'm requesting Alex and Jackie Resida on behalf of the Ruvuna family. You go and pick the wreath and kindly lay it. After Herbert, siblings and the spouses lay theirs in that order. Ikimuri cyo Jackie na Alex babushyireho ni icyo imfura y'umugenzi Jude and Francis. After Alex and Jackie, abo ni abana b'umugenzi murabareba kandi murabazi. Then muramu w'umugenzi na muramukazi we Aunt Mary and Uncle Dan Gakwerere, you will come next. Although Aunt Mary will also come twice with your dear husband. So there are two wreaths you are going to lay. First with the Dan, then with your dear husband if he's around. Kindly. Lay the wreath and get seated to allow the church to proceed with the ceremony. Abavandimwe b'umugenzi, Late and Sira, they are here, brothers, cousins. I have seen Innocent Bisangwa can come with Dan or Dr. Munyiga if he's able, and lay a wreath. You are next in line, kindly. Come forward. Precedence over you. Yes. Honorable Sabuturu yatuyagiye imitwaro 300. Arakoze. Imitwaro 30. My poor language. Arakoze. This is the area MP. So abuzukuru they can come. The Kureje family of Mbarara. I also my friend Kura. Muze Kura ije urahari. Ntabwo my brother ibuze kandi uhari. Niba uhari uze urenge wreath. Musanzire. Muze Kura ije kindly come and lay the ikimori, the wreath. Musanzire we Kabango, ka family. Muze Fred Munanura and Auntie Joy, if she's able to move. Muze Kuraije, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Kura Junior, help Muze. Thank you. Murakoze. Murakoze kurekeza umuvandimwe. King Caesar University. Nibamuhari. Professor Nzarubara, if you're around, kindly representing the university. Professor Nzarubara, are you available? Abamurora ni baba mwana. Their children married. Muze Munanura and Aunt Joy. Murabona afite imbaraga nke intege nke ariko araje kuva all the way from Kampala. N'umuhungu wabo Martin, brothers too, Jackie and Daphne. Thank you for coming. Kanongere mpamagare Professor Nzarubara, has he come forward? Professor King Caesar himself, kindly come and lay the wreath on the casket of your dear friend and relative. AIGP FX Rwego, I think I saw you around. Come and lay a wreath, a relative and a friend. The Ruvuna family, again, Anatori, Alex and Jackie, in your individual capacities now. You are representing Judy and the husband, but now come and lay a wreath. You are Mubye Wanchan, Karim Mukun. Proceed, Alex and Jackie, proceed and lay a wreath. Then AIGP will can come forward. After Alex, he finished. The Apamak family, are they here? The Apamak family. Followed by Ofunji family. Izari inshuti z'umugenzi. Yakoze henshi, yabaye henshi. So family and friends. Akazindaro Church. George and Monica Karamaji, our Texas. Again, it could be Barari, Alex, kind of come forward. Abishkwa, nieces and nephews. John, I know you. Urihe. Abishkwa. Bari muba ngabo baraje abona abishwe b'umugenzi, abana ba sisters be. The Ntiru family, kindly, someone from the Ntiru family.